You know, after 23 years, it's actually hard to shock NCIS fans anymore. We've seen characters come and go, we've seen emotional exits, we've even survived losing Gibbs. So when they announced the 500th episode, a lot of people expected something big, but I don't think anyone expected this. Because NCIS Season 23, Episode 13, All Good Things, didn't just celebrate history, it changed the entire future of the show. And it all comes down to one moment, one decision, and one sacrifice. Let's talk about Leon Vance. For nearly 2 decades, Vance wasn't just the director of NCIS, he was the backbone of the entire agency. Not loud like Gibbs, not impulsive, but steady, calculated, and always carrying the weight of the team on his shoulders. And that's what makes this episode hit differently, because this isn't just a death for shock value. This is a full circle ending. The episode starts in chaos. NCIS is literally being shut down. Think about that for a second. An agency we followed since 2003, just gone. And instead of giving us a straight, predictable storyline, the writers do something smarter. They scatter the team. Everyone is separated, uncertain, almost like the show itself is asking, what is NCIS without NCIS? But then they bring it back to something deeply personal. Billy Fuentes. If you've been watching since the early days, that name hits you. He's the kid Gibbs helped back in season 1, and now his family needs help. And suddenly, this isn't about an agency anymore. It's about a promise Gibbs made, a promise the team refuses to break. That right there, that's what NCIS has always been about. Not cases, not action, people, loyalty, legacy. But then comes the twist, and this is where the episode goes from great to unforgettable. Vance discovers the truth behind the smuggling operation. Corruption, betrayal, everything tied together. There's a bomb, and in that moment, Vance has a choice. Walk away or protect everything the agency stands for, and he chooses them. He defuses the bomb, saves the case, saves the truth, but he doesn't walk away because the real danger wasn't the bomb. It was the betrayal. He gets shot. Now here's where the show does something very different. Instead of rushing the moment, instead of turning it into just another tragic death, they slow it down. And Vance isn't alone. He sees Ducky. Not the old Ducky we said goodbye to, but a younger version. And this scene, this is where the writing goes deeper than most fans expected. Because Ducky here isn't just a memory. He represents something bigger. Closure, peace, maybe even acceptance. And you can feel it in Vance's hesitation. He's not afraid to die. He's afraid to leave things unfinished. His kids, his team, his agency. And that's real. That's human. That's what makes this scene hit harder than even Gibbs' exit. Because Gibbs chose to leave. Vance didn't. He gave everything. And that's why this might honestly be the best death NCIS has ever done. Not because it's shocking, but because it means something. It ties back to everything the show has built over 23 years. Sacrifice, duty, legacy. But now comes the real question. What happens next? Because whether the show wants to admit it or not, this changes everything. There's a power vacuum now. For years, Vance was the bridge between the old era and the new one, from Gibbs to Parker to the current team. And now that bridge is gone. So who steps up? The obvious answer? McGee. And if you really think about it, it makes perfect sense. He's been there the longest. He understands the system. He understands the people. But more importantly, he understands what Vance stood for. But here's the twist fans might not be thinking about. Even though Vance is gone, he might not be gone. Because NCIS has a history of bringing characters back in meaningful ways. Not flashbacks, but conversations, memories, guidance, and even the actor himself hinted at it. So don't be surprised if Vance still shows up, not as a director, but as a presence. And honestly, that might be the perfect way to honor him, because this episode isn't just about losing Vance. It's about understanding what he left behind. A team that keeps going, a mission that doesn't stop, and a legacy that refuses to fade. So yeah, this wasn't just episode 500. This was NCIS proving, after 23 years, it can still hit you where it hurts. But here's what I want to know. Did this moment hit harder for you than Gibbs' exit? And do you think McGee should take over? Or is there someone else ready to step into that role? Drop your thoughts below. I'm reading everything. And trust me, we need to talk about what this means for season 24.